You thought landfall was cool. Nice. On to the next. So last video, I was on a quest to get to Mythic with a deck that we found that we could climb with, and we were successful in that adventure. Now, I'm trying to find and continue that pursuit of awesome, fun decks that we can build and climb the ladder with, and we have today a Golgari Midrange pile. It did pretty well on a standard challenge tournament on MTGO recently. If you want to check out that previous video where we climbed a Mythic, it's in the description and also somewhere on the screen. There's a few cards in this deck I can't wait to show. I know that you may have already seen them before if you've been playing on the ladder at all recently. The new set with Edge of Eternities has come out, and with it we've got some real standout cards that are really starting to prove themselves and are cards that are turning into chase cards when opening packs. The purpose of any mid-range deck is to essentially play creatures that are have enough value, have enough sticking power to get us through the turns and get us through to the opponent. And we're basically forcing the opponent to just always have to have answers because we're just going to keep bringing value. And it's a really fun play style. It's something that you don't have to think a whole lot about. You know, you're not reacting as much as you are just filling the board with value. And to me, that's always a nice change. Control, for example, is really fun to play. You know, having a nice classic Wizards duel between two control players, for example, or trying to take on an aggro deck is super fun, but I always love a good mid-range pile as well. I think that's the meta that we're in right now, is pretty mid-range heavy. There's definitely some aggro coming with Boros and also with Gruul, so stay tuned for that. I plan on showcasing one of those decks very soon, if not in the next video. So here we are at the beginning of combat on your turn. You put X 1/1 counters on each creature you control, where X is this creature's power. Well, obviously that's very strong, and it's going to scale very nicely as long as this creature stays on the board. So it goes without saying, this card is going to be a threat just by existing. It's going to get stronger, and it's also going to buff all of our creatures on the board. And how is that in any way not super fun and powerful? Some awesome, amazing cards that have been in standard for a while that remain awesome are Sentinel of the Nameless City. When I first played with this, I think it was possibly in a Golgari fight deck. This card really impressed me. Map tokens are addicting, they're super fun, really good way to thin your deck or to pull lands or cards out of your deck. You know, we've seen that with Get Lost, and you know, it feels bad sometimes when you give the opponent 2 map tokens because they can use them against you pretty well. But in this case, we're creating our own map tokens, and it's very consistently because all we have to do is attack. And of course, when he enters the battlefield, we get a token. Vigilance makes this card even better, and it's probably the main reason why this card is so good, because we can attack, create map tokens, and we have Vigilance. We are 3/4 body for 3 mana. Can't go wrong here, and it's only going to get stronger if Ouroboroid is on the battlefield. I don't probably have to introduce Elegy Acolyte, but this is another amazing banger from Edge of Eternities. We've got a human cleric at 4 mana. It's a 4/4 with lifelink, and if any of our creatures deal damage, we get to draw a card. We do lose a life, whoop-de-doo, but we get to draw a card. We also have Void, and you know, at the end of our end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield or warped, we create a 2/2 colorless robot creature token. So this card is just another value card that we're going to be very happy to play on the board at any time, and you know, with having lifelink and the ability to draw cards and also produce tokens, this is an awesome card to have. Outside of that, we do have a few removal cards. We have Long Goodbye in this deck. I have not really seen this card, and I'm excited to try it. It can't be countered, and we get to destroy a target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. So that affects Kaito. It affects a few other obviously strong cards, other than just, you know, Shoot the Sheriff, which can be a problem sometimes based on the non-outlaw aspect. There's a lot more pirates, ninjas, assassins, etc. Out there that you would not expect. And even Soulstone Sanctuary, for example, or anything that's changeling or everything is a problem because we can't target it with Shoot the Sheriff. So Long Goodbye is a nice little touch, 2 mana instant. Can't go wrong there. Also, talking about value, we've got Mosswood Dread Knight. This card is just awesome. You probably are very familiar with it. It just keeps coming back and draws us cards, and you can't go wrong there. Keen-Eyed Curator, however, something I've seen but not really played with personally. And it looks like a Scavenging Ooze that has just a little bit better value because of the +4/+4 addition if it has exiled 4 or more cards, I believe. And that's pretty cool. So I'm excited to try that. A few other removals with Intimidation Tactics and Tragic Trajectory. Now, that's hard to say, but I do love Tragic because it's such a... It feels just as good as Cut Down, essentially. You just have to wait for something to be removed off the board to be able to utilize the -10/-10. And this gets around indestructible creatures. There's a few out there, you know, Ketramos or any other indestructible creatures do die if you remove counters from them. That may not be obvious to those new players out there, but this is one way to remove them. Cecil Dark Knight is a very popular card that's been making its way into basically a lot of decks. It just has a lot of... can't go wrong with Death Touch, and plus when it flips, it feels really good to have lifelink and indestructible on all of your creatures that are attacking. It does do damage to us, but we have ways to gain life in this deck a little bit. Outside of all that, we're now in Mythic, so we're going to try this deck and see how it performs, and hopefully it's something that floats your boat. One last thing before we jump into the gameplay: if you like this kind of content, please be sure to subscribe and like so that you don't miss the next video. And with that being said, let's jump into the gameplay. Okay, I like this. We've got a Llanowar Elf, Mosswood, land situation. We go first. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Elf. Even if they remove it, I'm not that mad. Ooh, Boros. I have my eye on a Boros deck. I mean, I already have one put together. It's a great aggro deck. I don't know if this is an aggro deck that I'm playing against, but if it is, that's pretty cool. So, since we have some time, we're gonna draw. It's always funny when you draw the thing that you draw with. Alright, let's see what they got. I'm faced with a hard decision, playing Acolyte or Ouroboroid. Which one? Which one makes the most sense? I think the Acolyte. But then again, the Ouroboroid coming out and getting and doing its thing is certainly something I'm interested in. But boy, drawing cards sure is fun. Already getting a rope. That's unfortunate. There we go. Zookeeper. What? I've never seen this card. Tiger creature you control gets +4/0 until end of turn. Okay, that's 7 mana. That's pretty expensive. Let's go ahead and throw down our... Well, hold on now. Hold on. We do not have enough. We do for green. We can get the Ouroboroid out if we play our lands like this. So that's what we shall do. I didn't see that earlier, so I guess that was the answer to the question. Mardu Devotee. Alright. Doing a little scry action. Hopefully they don't find anything good. They did find something that they wanted. Maybe it's land. Maybe it's removal. I'm not sure what I'm playing against actually, so shame on me. Shock Brigade. Another card I'm not really familiar with. Menace Mobilize 1. That's pretty good. With a Healer Hawk. Okay. Go ahead and play our Cottage. And we don't get to benefit from the Curator. And there's nothing for us to exile. But he is a 3/3 body. I think at this point, I'm okay with that. Okay, that's a good draw. I'm going to choose to sit back, see what they got here. We do now have an Unholy Annex. But the Acolyte still may take priority over that. If they're going all creatures, then the life gain's going to be nice. We've done some card draw. That's interesting. Okay. So maybe just another take on goblins. And that's a little terrifying. Still have 1 mana open. Okay, that's a good sign. Do not want to see Mr. Llanowar Elf. I'm not gonna lie. We'll get our Acolyte out there so I can stop talking about it. Man, they wouldn't have any board wipes, would they? Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. We don't have trample, but they do have to block. So let's go ahead and swing. I don't see any death touch over there. I don't see any issues with this. Pretty safe attack. If they don't block it, they're going to be in a world of hurt. They decide to take 8. And because of that, we get to draw. That would have been nice to be able to throw the Intimidation Tactics at them if we had a mana open, but we'll do it next turn. Unless they play out their whole hand here. But that's awesome. This Ouroboroid card is just so awesome. It's like a doubling season that's even... It just has the benefits of being a creature as well. I would say it's better. Man, another elf. It's just funny how that works. What do you think they have in their hand? Is this going to hit? I mean, they did tap out. They've only played creatures. I think it's a safe... It's a safe look. And it's the Pinnacle Star Cage. It's an artifact. That's good to remove. We don't have any demons at the moment. Well, now we do. I'm going to leave this in my hand. I mean, they have to block. Without a doubt. I feel like this deck could... I mean, there's ways to get trample. We've got the Curator, and I could have actually exiled a card with him, I think, a second ago, but we don't even need the trample at this point. I'm a little worried on the return fire, but next turn, but they have to block. I mean, fortunately, we know they have nothing in hand and no available mana, so that's a good spot to be in on an attack like this. They're carefully thinking it through. They did survive. They are down to 2, up to 3, with very little on the board, and that Acolyte creating a token is fantastic. Nice little chump block. We're up to 31. Life is good. I don't know if they have it with one card. I can't think of any card that can... Wait a minute. I can think of one card. It would be maybe, a board wipe. Do they possess such card? That would be actually insane if they were to be able to drop a board drop right now. They sure are making us wait though, huh? Annex didn't even have to draw with it. We just threw out a demon. It turned into a 14/14. This is just insane. Definitely a lot of fun. Don't know what to think here, but I'm just gonna swing. If they're gonna make me do it, I'm gonna do it. I mean, it is really nice to be able to turn a Llanowar Elf that normally, you know, late game, when you got your mana squared away, it's like, oh, the last thing you want to do is draw a 1/1 mana dork. I mean, it is a blocker, but in this case, it just immediately turns into a threat and a very good blocker. So, Ouroboroid just proved itself right here, this particular game. If you haven't seen that card do its thing, that's what it does. Sorry for the ropes. You thought Landfall was cool. Nice. On to the next. I think I've had Acolyte in every single hand, which I'm not complaining, but it's kind of funny how that works. I think this is worth keeping. Ooh, okay. Go ahead and take care of that. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. I get so much value so quickly. No maximum hand size. Let's go ahead and draw. So far, mono blue, which is very interesting. Stock up. That's what one does. Such a good card. We have no pressure on them, so might as well. Well, we can throw out the Annex while we have a chance. You know they're going to be rocking counter spells, most likely. So now hopefully they do not punish us too hard for that. We still have nothing on board, but neither did they. Let's kind of test the waters here. I would throw an Acolyte out there, but let's see. There's definite stick. Totally expected that. I doubt they counter this. But it is a 3/3, so can get some work done. They actually counter it. Well, interesting. Maybe they even have Flood Moth. Well, the timer has begun on the Annex without a demon plan. We're drawing cards. We're taking damage. Yeah, gotta love playing into full control. It's an interesting avatar for playing mono blue too. You know, it's funny, you think you know what someone's gonna play based on their avatar, and it really doesn't help. Get the Sanctuary out. Should have probably played it last turn, just so we could have had access to it this turn, but you know, mistakes. So now like I said, I want to kind of see what they're dealing with here. They were willing to I just thought ban. They were willing to counter the Curator. they'll definitely counter the Sentinel. But I'm trying to, you know, force these cards out. So that way we can kind of clear the runway for Acolyte and or Ritual Chamber. Not that it could get countered, but maybe if they expel all of their resources on other things. But yeah, we'll get the Sanctuary out there. Since there's nothing on board, might be able to get an attack with it. You don't have to cast it. Ooh, that's nice. I like that. Duress is always good. It just sucks that that means... Oh, that means our Sanctuary will not be able to come out. Well, this is good information. I just can't pass this up. It would be really nice to know if they have no more counter spells. They have... Okay, a bounce and a counter. Should I take their card draw, though? I think I should. Yeah. I think I should. So we're going to force... Well, I didn't think about that. They could still bounce it, but I mean, I want them to use everything they have and not have that consult the star charts to refill their hand. Okay, we can make another demon, or we have Sanctuary. So at least we can probably solve our demon situation. That's a good card. No maximum hand size. Okay. Well, they can't counter a Sanctuary. So we can go ahead, send it out. And I think... Yeah, they're going to counter this Acolyte. I don't want that, though. I think another good idea... I don't have enough mana to destroy the Storm Chaser. This is a tough one. We could throw out another Annex, but that's just too risky. That just... We're going to take too much damage. This is tough. They have enough mana to draw and do the counter spell, so we don't want to fall into that trap. So I think... we'll send everything. Blocking the Trampler, okay. They're gonna make a copy? Okay. See what they're trying to do here. I see. I still got the draw. It's gonna feel really bad if they have another bounce spell. Ooh, what was that? For some reason that had Ugin vibes. Don't know why. That wouldn't have made sense, but this artwork has scary shapes to it. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. My brain is weird. Okay, one card left. We know what it is. We do have an issue, though, with these Storm Chasers talents. They can use their mana really effectively with them, and it sucks. it sucks big time. But we do have Stormbrood. Really, yeah, okay, they're going for bounce spell. Totally understand. We'll be able to destroy one of their Stormbrood or their Storm Chaser. All right, game. I will play a starting town. Yeah, I think it's okay this time to go for Storm Chaser. Alright, that's one down. They do have a bounce spell. They're going to probably bounce our land. We've already played land for turn, which is unfortunate. Do they block? Not sure. They do. Same play as last time. At least the otter dies. Okay. Well, this is a tough one. It's a close one. Okay. I mean, this doesn't have flash. Yeah. All right. Sometimes you just have to swing. I want to go first. Come on. I do like the hand. Once again, we have a Verge with a cottage, so we don't have access to black immediately. But I think that's alright. No creatures, except for the Curator. We'll see how this plays out, though. They did have to mulligan down to 6. Okay, life gain. Maybe it's a good thing we went with the more interactive hand. Yeah, there's a Johnny. That long goodbye is gonna be nice and effective. Starting town. Yep. I'll take a hit for that. Life gain's tough. It's such a good deck. It's so consistent. That's why it's a good deck. It's a very finely tuned machine. You know, it just keeps coming. It's gonna gain life. It's gonna get counters. It's gonna have creatures. And every once in a while it has removal. And it's really devastating. So in this case, we don't have any more targeted removal. We do get to get into their hand though, which may actually be really nice. Let's go with Duress first. Okay, 2 Essence Channelers and a Halia. Ugh. No. Man, it's one or the other. They're locked out on... I mean, they could have 3 mana. So let's go ahead and go for... the Guided by Light. So they don't have access to it, even if they draw their land, which probably they did. Maybe not. Sheltered by Ghost on nothing for the life gain potential. That's rough for us. We can throw out a few blockers. One has Death Touch at least. We're going to take damage from it if we block, which we will. Man, yeah, don't see us getting around this. This deck is just doing its thing. They did not attack. Let's create a big boy. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't they draw another one? They come in twos. 2 to make it true. Well, that sucks. That's pretty devastating. I really think they should have attacked there, though. Alright, we can the end. It's going to affect a creature or planeswalker. In this case, the Ajani, probably. No, the Essence Channeler. Do we have enough for... No, we don't. We do not. Man. That's unfortunate. Okay, we'll just hold everything. Restless Cottage is available. But it's not necessarily that helpful. I really, really wish we could have got into their hand there. Counter. More counters. Now do they attack? They've been kind of... There it is. They're kind of holding back. I mean, one Death Touch will do that, I suppose. They really want the Ajani to be able to get through next turn. That's not what I meant to do. We're just gonna have to hope that our next draw is a good one. Ow. Resolve all. Thank you. We should be doing this now that we have access. Yeah, this is better than the scavenging is, for sure. Sorcery? Alright, it's like, you're done. Llanowar Elf. It's kind of the worst. They don't have trample. We could take out the Ajani right now, though. I am sure. Auto pay. That one, that one. Nothing in their hand. Alright. No attacks. Somehow we're still in this. Maybe they finally drew another land. Or Sheltered by Ghosts for the third time. Interesting. Once again, taking another chance here. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. Necessarily. We can block with the elf instead of relying on the Restless Cottage. Actually, or both. I'm not going to unlock Annex yet. Too risky. don't know what they had last turn. It must have been a land and they're just trying to hide or protect that information, but surely they would have played a land. Like, I don't know. What would they not have played if it was a creature? Okay, there's a Healer Hawk. Okay. That's kind of unfortunate. No trample. No life link, except for the hawk. They've definitely had mana issues, but it really hasn't mattered. They've been able to do their thing. Okay. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I'm not mad about it. Hinterland, that's a great card. That's definitely a problem. Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. We can kill the hawk. It would be really nice to kill the channeler, though. I mean, if we attack with the Acolyte, we'll get life gain. They'll block with the channeler. Unless they don't block with the channeler, then we'll draw a card. We won't be able to use the trajectory on it, and then we'll die. No, we won't die. We have another cottage. I'm going to do that. I'm not thinking through anything else. I'm sure there's maybe possibly a better line. But if there is, maybe I'll learn from this. Yeah, kind of figured. So we gain some life. Draw a card. Hits another dadgum elf. I just want to use the trajectory. How? Alright. Can't think of a way. It'll have to be this turn. Well, next turn. Let's see how they choose to attack. Yep, okay. We're doing this again. We need something better. Alright, let's draw for it then. This is interesting. Okay, Sentinel's pretty good. That gives us a map token, which we can use right now. Put it on the... I should put it on the... It doesn't matter. I think the Acolyte's better because it has life gain. Mosswood is pretty good. We'll throw it in the bin. We now have this. Ugh. But it puts counters. I hate it. That's the best we can do. Stinking counters. Alright. And it's shoot the sheriff. I will gladly shoot that bird. Okay. Vigilance always should attack. What do we... I guess we need a little bit of everything. We have an enchantment. Creature. an instant. Sorcery. With trample. There we go. Dude, we are in this. Oh my. Should I save this? No. No, not gonna save it. That's right. Nice. I don't know how we got through that, but we did.